Hey, today I'm talking about three 1950s Olivia de Havilland dramas that I quite enjoyed. And the names of those three movies are Not as a Stranger, My Cousin Rachel, and The Proud Rebel. First up is Not as a Stranger. This is a 1955 film starring Robert Mitchum and features Olivia de Havilland and Frank Sinatra. And the basic premise is Robert plays this man who is hell-bent on becoming a doctor. His life has no other purpose than to be a medical doctor. I mean, that's really all it's about, is like asking all of these moral questions when it regards doctors. For instance, his whole relationship with Olivia is that she is madly in love with him. He could not care less. He is basically ace until the movie's like, no, he's not. But he knows that she has a lot of money and he suddenly can no longer afford medical school. So he decides to use her as a bank to finance his school expenses. So he marries her, even though he doesn't care about her at all. And the movie asks lots of moral questions like that throughout the entire thing. I do think the second half of the film is a lot stronger than the first half, when he's like really in the meat and potatoes of the medical drama stuff. I also did find him calling out shitty doctors really satisfying, their incompetence and whatnot. That's my vibe. That's what I'm all about. Calling out shitty behavior is fun. It also felt very episodic, which isn't a criticism, but it does make me wonder if the story would have been better served as like a mini series with just like each episode focusing on a different part of his life. I do think that would have added to it. Anyway, so would I recommend it? Yeah, this is a good, interesting film with lots of fascinating moral questions. If you like the TV show House, you're gonna get a lot out of this. It's very similar mindset of like an arrogant doctor who knows he's right and he is right doing stuff. So yeah, no, I enjoyed it a lot and would totally recommend. Next up is My Cousin Rachel. This is a 1952 film, and the basic premise is this boy's parents die, so he ends up moving in with this older cousin who raises him like a son, but also like a brother, and like they're best friends. They're just like, they're all the vibes. And then one day the brother, for health reasons, goes to Italy, where there he runs into their other cousin Rachel. He then falls in love with his cousin Rachel, but then he starts sending the main character all these notes about like, oh, how actually cousin Rachel maybe is insane and the cause of his downfall, so that when the main character eventually meets cousin Rachel, he is very suspicious of her. It's definitely a neat, interesting little film. Olivia's commanding presence is really the only way this movie works, because like the main character builds up such an idea of who she is in his head, and then when he finally meets her, she's so different, but she just like demands your attention, and that's the only way his turn, going from like, I hate this bitch to I'm crazy in love with this woman, works. Like the main character just becomes a lovesick puppy to his own detriment, like throwing everything aside in the name of this love, which is not reciprocated. And it's only because she is this force to be reckoned with of an actor that is believable in and of itself. This is definitely a melodrama, and that could be a bit much at times, and that's why it's in the quite like section. Especially like the main character Philip, he's over dramatic to all get out. And like, that does make sense because it makes him feel young, because he is supposed to be young. He's supposed to be 25. The actor playing him was 26, but he looked so much older. They should have got more of a baby face guy. And they did age up Olivia a little bit, which was a little distracting, but is fine. She was in her mid-30s when she filmed this, so like she was the right age, but they needed to make her look older. So yeah, no, I did find it a fascinating, interesting film. The story was neat, the performances were good. It was just a bit overly dramatic. And so that kind of took away from the experience. But would I recommend it? Yeah, totally. It's an interesting little film that I would totally recommend it. And lastly is The Proud Rebel. This is a 1958 film. Based off of that title, I thought it was gonna be like Southern propaganda, just like a, yeah, Confederacy rules type of thing. And I was excited for that because I've seen a lot of pro-America propaganda stuff. So I was fascinated to see like what the other side of that would look like. And I have seen a couple things, but this seemed like it was gonna be the most overt, and it's really not. Like there are some little things, but there's nothing that like really jumps out as the most propaganda-y. So the basic premise is it's just after the Civil War, and this man has a young boy who is suddenly mute and he doesn't know how to fix it. So he's going around the north trying to find someone who can fix his son. He also has this incredibly talented sheep herding dog. I definitely enjoyed it. Like in particular, all of the dog herding stuff was the most satisfying because it's just like a dog doing its job, and it's cool to see. I found the story fascinating and interesting, like this man just giving up everything to try to help his son, like that's relatable. And you know, coming across slimy businessmen trying to steal your belongings, like that's a tale as old as time. Like I said, they didn't play into the Southern pride stuff really. He's the best moral character in the film, and like the worst people are the Northerners, but there's also a lot of good Northerners, plus like how the issue with the son is solved is because of the bad people. So like, it definitely was enjoyable. I know I'm kind of sounding very passive about this, but I think that's just because I was disappointed. I wanted propaganda, but I didn't get propaganda. I just got a nice, pleasant story, which like is the most annoying thing to complain about, is like, oh, this was just a good story. All right, well, fine. So yes, I know I kind of sounded dismissive about this movie, but I did enjoy it a good amount, and I would recommend it. Just don't think it's gonna be Southern propaganda, because it's not. It was interesting and worth a watch, just not propaganda. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up, we got Not As a Stranger, sitting at number 12 in the Quite Like section. And then after that is My Cousin Rachel, sitting at number 18, again in the Quite Like section. And then bringing up the rear, very close behind, is The Proud Rebel, sitting at number 20, again in the Quite Like section. And this is out of a total of 30 old movies so far this year.